I'm hoping this has worked as the scheduled thing I had failed on Facebook. So I'm just waiting to know that you've all just had to quickly reset up the whole thing again. And hopefully I will see that some of you are joining. Excellent. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Donna. Hi, Hayley, Julie. Good. First things first, guys, can you let me know if you can hear the music okay and if you can hear me over the music okay? Because I don't want another problem like I've had before. For those of you that are new, welcome to Spirit Circle. I do this once a month. It's a little gift from me and Spirit to you. And for those of you who haven't meditated before, I think that there's always this idea that we have that meditation is going to be a constant. We're going to reach a space and then stay in it completely and deeply, but you will find that it ebbs and flows. So sometimes you'll be off with the music and the meditation, and sometimes you'll be back in your body thinking about an itch you need to scratch or anything like that. So that's pretty normal. I'm just going to turn up the music a little bit because I think it's a bit quiet, but I could be completely wrong. Let me know if that still works. So for those of you that haven't worked in the energy of spirit before, if it's your first time, you just need to go with the flow. Remember that the problem with all mediumship is the more that you reach for something, the more elusive it becomes. So you kind of just need to allow yourself to surrender to the experience and go with the flow, see how it happens for you. I think that's everything I really want to say. I don't need to tell you guys to turn your cameras off like I normally have to because we're doing it on Facebook Live. So just get yourself nice and comfortable. Thank you guys letting me know that you can hear okay. And just close your eyes. And let your breath settle. Become aware of all of that energy around you, just slowly becoming stiller and quieter and calmer as you give yourself space to work. Now remember that you are the one in control. If you don't like an experience that you're having, I used to feel a little bit travel sick when I first started working with spirit. That's okay. Just make sure you communicate that to your spirit team, just a thought in your head, and then they will adjust where possible. Although I used to really miss it when the travel sickness feeling went, because it was that physical sign that spirit were there. And when that left, when I acclimatized, I felt very bereft without it. So we just send out a thought, inviting our spirit team to step closer. We know that you are around us always. But for the purposes of our meditation this evening, we ask you to come just a little bit closer so that we might feel your presence, so that we might unfold further into the energy. so that we can gain your wisdom, your clarity, and sit in your unconditional love. And I want you just to gently become aware of your spirit team beside you, of the shift in the energy that happens as you open yourself up, knowing that spirit are always with you. I want you to become aware of just feeling ever so slightly disconnected from the noise of life. Your worries, your problems, your concerns, they're still there, but it's as if someone has turned the volume down. And as you move into that sense of peace and stillness, you feel yourself, your true self, lifting up and out of your body, still connected to your physical self, but lighter, brighter, in a more easy space. It's as if you can fly and you rise up out of your body, realizing that the physical confines of the human world no longer restrict or stop you. And you move out of the room that you are in, up and out of the building that you are in. You look out across the sky as you keep moving higher and higher, feeling weightless, feeling free. And as you rise higher and higher, you start to disconnect from all of the difficult, weighty, and challenging energies on Earth. And you move more in line with the frequency of spirit. Free, unencumbered, powerful, present. And as you rise further and further, you move towards the part of the sky where it is always night, beyond the world's reach, amongst the stars. And as you look around in wonder at all of these beautiful sights, there is one star that seems to shine brighter. One star that calls to you, and you move towards it with ease, floating through the night sky. When you arrive at that star, everything becomes light. All you can see around you is light. And it's as if that star becomes a portal. And you enter into that portal, surrounded by the light, feeling that presence of spirit beside you. And as you do, an image starts to form. You hear the sound of a stream. You can hear birds calling. You're aware of the feeling of the ground beneath your feet. And you find yourself in a beautiful wooded area beside a stream. And there, waiting for you, is one of your spirit guides. Go to them now. I want you to spend a few minutes in the company of your guide, asking your questions, receiving their guidance. When it is time to continue, I will call to you. Your guide walks over to the stream and puts their feet into the water, sitting on the edge, and they invite you to go and join them. How does the water feel to your feet? Can you feel its gentle movement flowing past? At the bottom of the water, do your feet rest upon stone or sand or something else? Your guide has with them a little set of paper boats, waxed and ready to float in the water. And they tell you that each one of these boats is going to represent something that you want to let go of. So they hand you the first boat, and it's up to you to name it with what you wish to release. When you have done so, you can put that boat down into the water and let it go and watch it float off, bobbing into the river. Watch it until it turns the corner and can no longer be seen. And your guide will give you another boat. There are 5 boats in total for 5 things that you want to release from your energy and your experience. Take time with your guide to do one after the other, watching them disappear. I will leave you here with your guide for a moment, and when it is time, I will call to you. When all of your boats have been released and all of your intentions have been set, your guide is going to give you some advice to help you make these wishes a possibility. What do they say to you? Your guide is also going to offer a little carrot to motivate you on the journey ahead. What are they telling you is available to you if you manage to stick at this, reprogram your thoughts, change your energy to allow space from the old to welcome the new? It's time to return. So take a moment to say goodbye to your guide. Thank them for all they have shared with you. As the image of the beautiful nature vista starts to fade and become that bright white light once more. And you move backwards exactly the way that you came, through the starry universe sky, back down into the earth sky, looking down beneath you, seeing the roof of your home, traveling through that roof, through the rooms, and down into the room where you see your body sitting or lying as it was when you left it, and moving down into your body, sitting back in it, taking a couple of long, slow, deep breaths, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, having a stretch, having a wriggle. And when you feel ready, no rush, no effort, opening your eyes, having a drink, taking a moment. Well done. Good. I can see you all just coming back. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm just going to sort out, apparently I've got yet another scammer on my page. I'm just going to see if I can find them and block them before they cause any damage. Just as a reminder, a very grounding reminder that I don't send friend requests. You do not need to put your bank details in for this, etc., etc. I can't see them right now, but I have no doubt that they're there somewhere. Let me just turn the music down. Right, let's have a look. Oh, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm really glad. That worked quite well, didn't it? On Facebook Live for the first time and YouTube Live. So I'm really, really glad. There we go. Right. So you can ask your questions now. Any questions you've got about that experience you just had, or anything going on with your mediumship development or on your spiritual journey, any questions about mediumship overall, and I will answer as many of them as I can. I'm going to start with Debbie, who's asked, is it normal to cry? Yeah, actually, Debbie, when I first started working with my spirit guides, everyone in my circle used to take the mickey out of me because I'd start sobbing and they go, oh, Hannah's guides are here. So yeah, I think it's because of the love that they bring. It's that feeling of going home to something that we didn't really even know consciously that we were missing. It is incredibly moving and powerful. So yeah, it is completely normal to cry. Bless your heart. Let's just see. Lots of questions. Okay, here we go. Here's some questions. Mark, I started going live on TikTok, but should I try YouTube or Facebook? It entirely up to you, Mark. Wherever you think that your biggest audience will be. I use StreamYard for this, which you do have to pay for, but it does mean that you can simultaneously stream on Facebook and YouTube. So that's quite useful, I think. But give it a go, see what works for you. Let's see here. Naomi, is it normal not to see them yet? Absolutely, Naomi. And I think the thing with seeing is kind of overrated. I know we all want to see, but really the thing that you want to be focusing on the most is feeling and getting those messages from spirit. What is it that they are trying to say to you? What wisdom do they have? What information are they going to impart? That is the most useful thing in your journey. I mean, spirit guides changed my life, but they didn't change my life with how they looked. They changed my life with the guidance and information and help that they gave me. So I absolutely recommend just being with it and knowing that being with it and being in that energy will start a chain reaction and shifting things in you. So there we go. Carolyn, how do I get over the wondering if it's my guide or my own imagination? Oh, I think it just takes time and practice, Carolyn. And what will happen ultimately is when you get a really good open line of communication, which is just practice, that's all it is, then you will start to get more specific messages from your spirit team and more meaningful messages from your spirit team. And as you do, you'll start to be able to see evidence in it. And then you'll know that you didn't make it up because XYZ. I mean, my spirit guides have done some amazing spiritual healing things for me, but they have also given me very practical advice. They helped me fix some electrics once, so once you start getting that open line of communication, they can help you with all sorts of things. And then it helps. One of the things that I really recommend, that really helped me, is the willing suspension of disbelief. So, yeah, of course, there's that bit of your brain going, I could be making this up. And what I had to do on my journey in the end, because my brain is so analytical, it was just taking all the joy out of it for me, was I had to give myself, I think I agreed 6 months with spirit, 6 months where I would just believe that everything I was experiencing was spirit, and I would shush that voice wherever it popped up telling me that I was making it up. And that really helped me, because the more I gave myself the gift of being able to believe, the stronger the connection became. The stronger the connection became, the deeper the evidence became, the more specific the information that came through was, the more it was proven to me. So sometimes you just have to go, oh, well, if worst case scenario is my imagination, as long as it's positive, as long as it's good, that's great. I hope that helps. Oh, Mandy, I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Did your week of spiritual unfoldment. See, Mandy's just helping me with my plugs here. I have got a free week of spiritual unfoldment course that you can do, which is a meditation a day for a week, to help you connect to spirit. So if you want to have a go at that, you'd be more than welcome. You can just pop on mediumshipmatters.co.uk and you'll be able to see it. And Mandy's joined the gateway, which is fantastic. I look forward to seeing you there, Mandy. How exciting. Good. Let's see. Oh, look at Debbie. Look at this. I was given a quill pen and was told to push the boundaries and come out of my comfort zone. I love it, Debbie. Good job. Fantastic. Okay. Anchor. Are those feelings, the crying, just us releasing tension? I know my guides are here with me, but I can't keep help wondering if this is just me processing trauma. I wonder that too, Anchor, because I think for me, working with spirit was the first time that I ever really experienced unconditional love. Because I kept saying to them things like, I'm sorry, I need to change. I know I'm not good enough. I'm too angry. I'm too this. And they just loved me with no demand, with no requirement for me to be anything other than who and what I was. And so that really did heal me. It healed me. It's so funny because we all think we need to be better to work with spirit, but actually working with spirit makes you better because you're not afraid anymore. And I think so much of the negative stuff that we hold on to is normally stuff we've done that we regret. And you don't have that anymore because you have sit in this unconditional love that just changes everything, Anchor. Okay. Pamela, is it normal to feel your spirit guide but not actually see them? I see loads of lights. Are these spirit entities? Yes, absolutely. I don't think that spirit guides need to take a physical form unless we demand that they do. So when I first started working with spirit, I needed them to look like humans so that I could feel safe and communicate with them. And then all of a sudden in my journey, all of a sudden I ended up with a fox for a while. And then I think the fox was like the entry level to getting me to just communicating with a light. So you're just going straight to the light, Pamela, which is fantastic. Yeah, the most important thing is not what they look like, not how they're pretending to be a human to fit in with you, but actually the information, the wisdom, the knowledge, the unconditional love. Trying to unmute myself and not doing it very well. Ah, Sabra. Been meditating for a few months, but still haven't heard or seen them. Thoughts? Don't bother with meditating. I think that meditating is fantastic, but it can also be a block because we spend so long going, Well, there's two forms here, because obviously I called that, what we just did, a meditation, but technically it's a visualization. You're not meditating. Meditation is sitting in silence with nothing. And I think it's very hard. I remember when my teachers used to say you need to surrender to work with spirit, but you can't surrender because you're going, are they there? Are they there? Are they there now? Are they still there? Do they like me? And so it's always fascinating to me just to do it kind of casually, Sabra. So I would suggest, I always say making soup, but ironing, gardening, anything that is monotonous, where your physicality is kind of doing something but can be in a flow with it. And then ask your guides to step forward then. And don't expect it. When we're talking about seeing spirit, we are not expecting you to see them with your physical eyes. That has happened to me once, maybe twice in 10 years. I'm talking about seeing in your mind's eye. It's an image in your mind's eye. When we talk about hearing spirit, we mean normally the voice in your head. So it's normally your voice. It's normally your brain creating that stuff. So just start saying, hey guys, are you there? And of course they'll say, yes, we are. And you'll go, well, I might have thought that. And you go, yeah, okay. And you just say to them, give me a message. One of the great things to do is to ask them for a sign. So sometimes you'll get, I don't know, a pink elephant, and you'll go, pink elephant. And then you'll be going about your day, and all of a sudden there'll be a pink elephant on the TV. So you can play around with spirit like that. But don't sort of, I need to see you, because then you'll cut yourself off from spirit. What you want to be doing is kind of keeping it light and playing with it. But for a lot of people, meditation is a problem. It's all right with a visualization, because a visualization is working using your imagination with spirit. The images that came up in your mind when we were doing this activity were not downloads from spirit. Spirit didn't create the stream, you created the stream. But the information contained within it was accessible because of your imagination, allowing you to open up to it. So it's finding that balance in there, but just be really casual with it. Chat to them every day. You don't need to go into an altered state. You don't need to light a candle. You don't need to meditate for 10 minutes beforehand. Spirit are there instantly. So just start working like that and see if that helps, Sabra. I hope it does. Sometimes meditation can kind of cut us off because we're expecting it to be more. Okay, Jackie can see colours. Is that normal? Yes, Jackie, as much as any of this is. It's a way of perceiving energy. So that's fantastic. And you may well find that different colours come into work with you at different times as different frequencies and energies. You may always get the same colour. It just depends how it unfolds for you. Fantastic. Debbie sees lots of orbs and flashes of bright light. How do I know which spirit this is? You don't. I mean, every now and again, I'm aware of my grandmother. She's quite active, so she does a lot of orbs, and I will know that it's her because I will feel that it is her. But generally speaking, when you're working with your spirit team, you don't need to worry about which spirit guide it is or which member of your family it is. You just need the information and the love. Of course, you can say to them, if that's you, mum, could you please come back and show me that it's you? And you might get another flicker and you go, okay, that is mum. So play around with it like that. But also, if they don't really respond, then just know it's spirit working with you en masse, because although we obviously hold on to our individual experiences of spirit are a great oneness. There we go. Let's have a look. Magdalena, read your book on a train. Well, I was well over half through it. I thought I'd try my abilities. There was an older lady sitting next to me, and I sensed that her husband had died, but I had no nerves to ask her. As she was approaching her destination, I said, "You nearly there?" because train was delayed and there were problems. She looked at me and responded, "Oh, yes, it's the first time I'm traveling on my own since my husband died. I was visiting my daughter and my sister is waiting for me." Amazing, Magdalena. Fantastic. Good. Good. Excellent. Okay, Nikki's got a question. I always get emotional and can't see my spirit guides as people, but colours. Yay, good. No, I don't see mine as people. I think that they presented as people for me because that's what I expected when I first started my journey. And it was the only way I was able to receive them. Now it's just spirit. I don't even get colours. I get nothing, nada. It's just spirit. So that's fantastic. Maureen, absolutely, Maureen. Thank you. This is really appreciated. I used to shake a lot when first working with spirit. I too really missed this when it went. Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? You go, oh no, I feel so sick, or oh, I'm shaking. And then it goes, and you're like, are you still there? And they say, yeah. And you go, what happened to that? And they're just like, well, you've got used to us now. So, yeah, you're right, Maureen. Trust, trust, trust. Absolutely. Mark wants to know if I can sense that other people are mediums. Well, Mark, I believe that everybody is a medium. It's just stretching a muscle that you need to learn to stretch. Absolutely everybody can communicate with spirit. And in fact, I'm always a little on the fence about how I feel about mediums telling other people they can be mediums, because it's almost like an easy bit of evidence, isn't it? To go, did you know that you can be a medium? And they go, oh my God, I can join your special gang. When actually, that's not really evidential because everybody can. That's my belief. Okay. Let's have a look. Right, Michelle. I'm not sure if that's a question, Michelle. I get so much more through thorough. I get so much more thorough with family that have passed than what I get doing for others. I'm in just the beginning of my journey. That's normal, Michelle, because you're learning to communicate with a spirit that you don't know. So you're having to perceive things that, for want of a better word, are alien to you. It's unusual to you. It's feelings you've never felt. It's people you've never spoken to. So you're just learning to get in that space. And of course, reading for others is more stressful. So that can cut you off. It makes you more nervous. Okay. Mark is seeing magpies. I don't know, Mark. It's your sign. So I would ask spirit what they're trying to show you with that magpie. If you're feeling like that's a sign, um, I don't want to interpret that for you because it's not a sign that's being given to me to give to you. It's a sign that's being given to you from spirit. So ask them, see what they tell you. I hope that helps. I always feel like people think I'm being pedantic, but it's one of my pet hate is teachers that tell you what it means to them. Because I didn't um, get that message. You got that message, and I want you to know that you can do it. So I'm not going to interpret it for you. You need to interpret it. But I think people think I'm being obtuse. I'm really not, Mark. I promise. I promise. Elizabeth, is it normal to feel them around you, but know what they are saying? I feel them around me or near me with colder temperatures. I do candle scrying and speak to nature, but don't hear anything. Sorry, it sounds a bit weird. Well, let's be honest, Elizabeth, everything we're saying tonight sounds a bit weird. That's mediumship, isn't it? I would say that is normal. I think you probably experience it in a different way. So I think so often we think that spirit is just going to be almost like me talking to you right now, but actually spirit can be the feeling that rises in you. In fact, most often when you're working with your spirit guides, it's emotions, it's feelings, and it's learning to trust those feelings. And normally what we have to do is ignore that feeling of impending doom if we go to that party and then wish we hadn't gone to the party because of the sense of impending doom was correct and there's somebody we hate there. So I think spirit communicate in many ways because they are energy and they're actually beyond language. Language is a human construct. They are, when you're doing mediumship, you're trying to put energy into words. That's why it can be fallible sometimes. They're not actually speaking to us. They no longer have voice boxes. So if you're feeling and experiencing stuff, Elizabeth, work out how that's manifesting for you and start building your own language and communication with spirit that way. I hope that helps. Chris wants to know if anybody saw a little girl playing soccer with teacher or coach on the journey. So we'll see if anyone replies to you, Chris. That might be a message for you. Let me just see. Haley is saying, is it normal to feel vibrations? Yes, because you're altering your energetic state to be able to communicate with spirit. So it can feel very weird. That is why I used to feel travel sick, weirdly. It used to make me feel really woozy. Mark wants to know what the white lines are when he closes his eyes. I have no idea, Mark. No idea at all. I would ask spirit if it's coming from spirit. It might just be stuff behind your eyes. I'm always getting mandalas behind my eyes. I love them. Um, Izzy wants to know, coming out of my physical self, I was back to being a child, very giggly, excitable. Is that normal? Yes, it's because it's so bloody lovely. You've been hanging out with all of these energies in the spirit world that think you're amazing and want nothing more than just to hang out with you and have a good time. So, yeah, you will come back to being a child, feeling giggly and excitable. It's one of the things I like best about spirit. When I first started working with spirit, I thought it was all going to be very serious, very dour. We're working with people who are dead, oh, oh. And when I to find out that they had these amazing sense of humor and want to play and want to be silly, it was just so life-changing to me. And it's one of the things that I love most about working with spirit is the person that takes it too seriously is always me. It's never them. They're never there going, oh my goodness, thou must move into the light, for thou is being in the dark, and this is very bad for you. They're there going, have fun, let it all loose. Don't do work today, do this. And much more playful than I think we give them credit for. Okay, let me just see where I'm getting. Okay. Debbie wants to know if you can speak to spirit in your head. Yes, you don't have to speak out loud. Although it does get really embarrassing, Debbie, because you can be having a really good conversation with your spirit guides in Tesco. The number of times I've laughed when they've told me a joke or something and then realised I am the lady that I would drag my children away from, going, that lady's not right, because you're talking to no one. But yeah, you can converse with them very well. They'll be the best fun, best conversations you ever had once you get going. Um, Renee, I saw three different faces. One was old and wise, one was middle-aged and handsome, the third was beautiful, all male. That is fascinating. So this will be, because I believe that spirit are beyond gender. So this will be something to do. I would look, Renee, at the sacred masculine energy. I would Google that. I'm always in the masculine energy, so that I can tell you some of it off the top of my head. It's very sort of physical, provider, time to do the work, that kind of energy. So be in that kind of space with it, but have a little look and see if there's anything that you feel maybe you need to be opening up to. I'm always being told that I need to move more into the feminine, but I just sit more comfortably in the masculine energy always. So have a look at that. Doopy doopy doo. Okay. Lee. How do relationships work in spirit? Do spouses stay spouses? No, that's not my understanding. I think that everyone is, well, because we're part of a oneness, I do believe, Lee, that everybody is everything to everybody. So I do believe our genders change. I do believe our relationships change. I do believe we live some lives with the same souls. We live some lives with other souls. I think it's just such a vast, it's beyond our comprehension, all of the different lives, all of the different experiences, all of the different ways that it manifests. And of course, for spirit, there is no time. So we are experiencing, the soul is experiencing everything all at once. And the weird thing is, for souls, they're not separate. So if, for example, my grandmother, who's in spirit, I'm experiencing being separate from her in the physical world, but she is not separate from me, because my soul is with her in the spirit world, because there is no time. Enjoy thinking about that. Good. Marie wants to know why she sees the number 23 all the time. It's probably just something you're recognizing as a sign, Marie. So I get a lot of angel numbers because it's like me saying, oh, to spirit. And I know that we can get all up in our heads going, oh, God, I saw 22. What does 22 mean? But for me, it's always just spirit saying cooey. It's always just them saying hi. That's all it is. So, yeah, have a little look, see if you can work out what you're thinking about when you see the number, in case there's a sign in that. See if you are doing something particular whenever you see it, but it could just be spirit letting you know they're around. Okay, let's see. Elizabeth's got another one. I've got one more question. As I was practicing my tarot, I felt something touch my back. Do you think that was me? Do you think that was them letting me know they are there? Loving your book. I'm glad you're loving my book, Elizabeth. And yes, I do. I think it's just spirit letting you know that they're around. Oh my God, I miss feelings like that. I just used to feel like someone was doing that ever so gently. I could barely feel it, but on my face. And then the more that you work with spirit, the less you get that stuff. So enjoy it, Elizabeth. I'm slightly jealous. Okay. One of the things that I need to do before we get any further, we've got 4 minutes left for questions, is ask you please to, if you've enjoyed this, can you share this live for me? Because it really, really helps with reaching as many people as possible. And you will see that I've already set up the event for July the 17th, which is the next Spirit Circle. So please pop over there to get the reminder. That will really help with all the bloody algorithm stuff that you have to do these days to get things working. Right, now let me just see. Lynn wants to know, is it usual to see faces, mainly male, as I'm going to sleep? Yeah, I think often because the part of our brain that cuts us off from spirit, because it's too analytical, is the bit that goes to sleep. And so, just as we're drifting, people often hear voices when they're going to sleep as well, and they're like, "What?" And spirit aren't going to go, "Oh, she's falling asleep. Quick, show her your face now!" Or, "Oh, quick, she's just drifting off. Holler out her name," because that would be ridiculous. Spirit are not like that. I mean, I might be when I'm in spirit because I'm quite childish, but you know what I mean. But it is just you becoming aware because you're drifting off, and then it probably startles you and wakes you back up. That's normally what happened to me. So it's just the more that you do mediumship during the day and practice, the less that will happen because you've got that opening there. The information's coming. Pamela, do guides change from time to time? Well, Pamela, this is an interesting question because I don't quite believe that our guides. I don't believe if your spirit guide presented tonight as a man that looks a bit like Phil Collins, that he really was a man that looked like Phil Collins. I believe that spirit are presenting in a certain way as the message. So when we're looking at spirit guides, when they're presenting in a certain form, it's often to make it accessible to us, but also sometimes because there's a message in the form that they take. It doesn't mean that he really lived as a man that looked like Phil Collins. It just means that was an easy way for you to receive it. So as we move through energy and we become more aware of spirit, I think they sometimes change form, but as the message, but also to let us know that we're progressing and moving. But I'm not 100% sure when we're working with spirit guides, whether we're actually working with spirit guides who are separate to us or working with the part of our own soul that has remained in spirit. So I think that spirit's intelligence, they know the best way for us to be able to perceive them. So at the beginning for me, I had my 5 spirit guides that I could name. I had them all filed in lovely little boxes. This one does this one does that, this one does this. And then as I progressed, it became a fox that could talk to me. It didn't have a little mouth. It didn't move. It didn't look like Fantastic Mr. Fox, which I've always been really sad about. It was thought conversation. And that was to get me to understand that I'd been limited for years in my approach to spirit guides, and there were other ways that I could communicate. And then the fox became ethereal and energy. And that is how it's remained ever since. So, yeah, I think our perception of guides changes, but spirit are beyond anything that we can really comprehend. So, I think they are always far more evolved than us, and it's us evolving into understandings with them, which we have to do in phases and stages. I hope that makes sense, Pamela. I know that was a really big answer for the right at the end of the question. Oh, good. Very interesting. Good. Well, there we go, guys. I think that's all of the questions. I got through all of them, so I'm really proud of that. I hope that you have enjoyed it. It's been lovely working with you all, and I will see you all again next month. If I don't see you before, make sure you check out my free course on mediumshipmatters.co.uk. You can also get my book, You Are a Medium, You Just Don't Know It Yet, on Amazon. And you can, of course, listen to my podcast, Mediumship Matters, that's got 5 seasons out there and done, full of information for your spiritual journey. And I hope to catch up with you all again soon. Take care, guys.